and I need your help. I need your help to try to bring John home, okay? There's some information that I want to give about John. John was last seen on December 31st around 11:30 a.m. In the 7,000 block of Highway 195. Jonathan is 4 years old. He has blonde hair, blue eyes. He is 4 foot tall. He weighs 50 pounds, and he goes by John. John was wearing a yellow Mickey Mouse shirt, black pants, Paw Patrol shoes, as you can look behind me on the screen. We have pictures for the community of John. We have pictures of the dog Buck, which is a lab mix retriever. We have pictures of the Paw Patrol shoes that was provided by his mother that he was wearing at the time he wandered off. It's just a few little things about John. He loves the outdoors. Him and his brother are very adventurous. I guess the best way to describe them is just boys being boys. You know, they just outdoors kids, all boys. But it's John and his brother were out playing. John's brother said and identified the last place that he saw John and Buck. Now, we're very hopeful with the community support and that we have. I need the community to be out. I need you to be vigilant. Just because you may not necessarily be in this immediate area, I need everybody, and I mean everybody, in Walker County. Check your ring cameras, check your deer cameras, check your tree stands, check your deer houses, check your deer cameras. Look under your carports, your garages, your houses. John is 4 foot tall, so he's very small. He can get in tight places. If you got tunnels, caves on your property, get out and look and make sure that we're just not overlooking, and make sure that we're doing our due diligence to find this child. Now, I know that the father and the situation that's been going on that's secondary to me. My concern is finding and bringing home John. And this is just a plead as just your local sheriff, is to help us bring him home. Especially with him having a canine, it's very known that children that wander off in the woods with canine go a lot further than we anticipate or we think. There's been numerous stories over the years where kids have wandered off into the woods with their canine. I'm very hopeful that with Buck, if Buck and John are still together, I'm very hopeful that they're together. I know we've experienced some cold nights, but I'm hoping that with Buck and John, if they're still together, that they're able to stay warm. But I just can't stress enough about just how important that it is that to get John home. We've had a great support from the community, law enforcement. Yesterday, just alone, we covered about 500 acres, which was a lot of ground to cover yesterday. We had 161 volunteers, 126 law enforcement personnel. We've got over 100 volunteers today, and that speaks volumes to not just Walker County, but the state of Alabama, and anybody that's willing to help. I just need you to do your due diligence around your home. Just if you got ring cameras, check them. If you got deer cameras, if you have tree houses or blinds or tree stands on your property, check them, because he can fit in tight places. He's going to be a small child. He can fit in tight places. Also look for the dog. Like I said, he's very adventurous. Look in tunnels. Look in any kind of caves. Look if you've got a pond on your property, search your pond, okay? I want to make sure that we're doing everything to get him home, and I want to say first, I want to say that the media, I appreciate what you do. I appreciate that you're here. I appreciate that you care to help get this message out and help us get John home. So.
As a father, what's this like for you?
It's as a father, it's one of those situations that I've not been in. the situation. So, I want people to pray for this family, just like as me as a father, if I was going through this situation, going through any situation really, I'd want the community support. I'd want the community behind me, and this community has rallied behind this family and this mother to help try to find John John. And the family, including the dad, has helped trying to do everything they can to help provide information for us to do that.
Sheriff, yesterday you had mentioned that there was no indication, kind of no signs of him in the woods. Is that any update you give us on that? Has there been anything found in the woods by the search teams?
There's no new additional information on that.
Can you talk about the resources that you're using today? Are you still using helicopters, FLIR, everything that was implemented the past few days?
We're still using the same resources and ground searches and things of that nature, yes.
How about the search area? Has that expanded?
We are looking to expanding the search area, and like I said, it's with him being with Buck, with John and Buck being together, and if he's following Buck, then there's no telling how far they could have traveled. Like I said, if you just look at stories across the state and the nation where children wander off, especially with the companion, canines, they wander off 2, 3 miles, 4 miles. So we still have a lot of ground to cover, and that's why I want to stress to people in the county is just because you're not impacted in this small area doesn't mean that he couldn't be on your property. And
Any reason to think he might be outside the county, abducted or anything like that?
not at this time.
What's his hair? I've seen photos with his hair down and with his hair bunded up. Do you know what condition his hair was in?
I don't know the condition of his hair whenever he wandered off, but he does have long hair, as you can see in the picture.
Is he age 4 or 5?
He is age 4. That is confirmed. Age 4. The father initially told us that he was 5.
Sheriff, we saw that there was a hazmat team from Pelham here that looked like they were heading down towards the father's house. Is there any reason for that, or were they just here as additional resources?
Just additional resources that I'm aware of at this time.
I know you said the father is helping you guys out. I know a question that the family had last night is if he was getting updates on the search, even though he is in jail. Can you give some information there?
I can't speak on what all the investigators are updating him on. That's going to be a conversation that's taking place between investigations and the father.
Can you give us an update on the explosive materials found inside the father's home? Is that area still being kind of locked down and only law enforcement in the area? Is the search still continuing around there, Jonathan?
Right now we're keeping it to law enforcement or approved search members.
Then we also saw a chemical endangerment charge. You say that's separate from this case?
I haven't seen what the DA officially, whenever they had the hearing this morning, what additional charges they may have added.
But the original charge we heard about yesterday, that's still on.
Yes.
And the bodies of water, I noticed there's small little ponds around. Have they all been searched?
They're working on that process. They dived some of the ponds yesterday, and they're working today.
And with the clothes he was wearing, long sleeves, sweatshirt kind of material, something that might keep him warm through the night, or short sleeves through the night?
I don't know how thick the material is that he was wearing. No, I do not.
Sheriff, are you still looking for volunteers?
And like I said, I'm never going to turn away anybody that wants to help. But one of the things that to understand is that, we're not sending just a random volunteer that comes in out here to create additional hazards. Okay, so we're putting people who have experience in search and rescue. We're assigning volunteers with those individuals. Has been times where we have more volunteers than we have people with experience in search and rescue that we can put them with, so it creates people having to stay. We're keeping it to, if people want to help in the kitchen, if they want to help provide food, if they want to help provide resources like that, the doors are open. The doors are open for volunteers, but I can't promise you that you're just going to walk in here and we're going to hand you a vest, or you're going to get a vest and you're just going to go out to the woods. We may need you 5 hours from now. We may need you tomorrow. Like I said yesterday, if this thing drags out days, I don't need people getting burnt out over time. We need people that are going to stay committed to this search until we bring John home.
Sheriff, yesterday at your last news briefing of the night, you had mentioned that the FBI following up on additional leads. Can you tell us how involved is the FBI in this investigation, and have those leads that they were following, anything came from that?
Yeah, I can't speak on what leads that they have at this time, but they are very involved, being very helpful, along with SBI, and we've got, you know, agencies from all over the state of Alabama here helping today.
How big is your search area today? You said 500 acres yesterday. How big are we today?
I don't know until they get done of how much they're able to get in the search area.
Have the dogs hit on any scents near the fence line that he crossed?
Sir?
Have the dogs hit on any scent where he allegedly crossed the fence line?
Not that I'm aware of. So, but that's all the questions that I'm gonna take. So, like I said, if we'll update you maybe later this afternoon if we get any more additional information. All right, thank you, guys.